We opened a store in Srinagar. And like people said, you can't open a store there. I had a big fight with my board, and I convinced them to try and open it. And when we opened up, people said that don't keep anything on the Western wear. Don't keep denims. Don't keep tops for women. They are like they wear burqas and they are very, very orthodox and they are very traditional. They, if you keep those, they will attack you. But still, I said, okay, let me just have some trial and some. And you can't believe that was the best store selling Western wear for me.
Welcome to another episode of Chat Masala. Super excited to invite Lalit Agarwal to our studio. He's a visionary entrepreneur and founder of V-Mart and a prominent figure in the retail industry. With his relentless drive and business acumen, Lalit has steered V-Mart into becoming one of India's leading fashion and lifestyle chains. Known for his astute decision-making, which we'll get into, and strategic approach, he has successfully created a brand that caters to the diverse needs of the Indian consumer market. In fact, V-Mart has 368 stores across 235 cities in virtually every Indian state. I think 26 out of 29. So we're going to get into that, how to create a pan-national Indian brand. Lalit, welcome. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you. I'm glad to be here, Rahul. You're always someone whom I look up to. I'm so glad I'm doing this conversation with you.
Likewise, sir. Likewise. So why don't we begin right in the middle of it? This is such a competitive industry. You've got retail coming in the likes of Amazon and Flipkart, not to mention more traditional outlets. How do you see V-Mart positioning itself and differentiating itself vis-a-vis this landscape?
So Rahul, let me just take you back to my journey. So I come from a very, very humble background with a joint family. I was born in Kolkata and then moved to Odisha. When my father moved, my father was running a tailor shop. And, while I was a kid, I was a part of that shop at times. It was just fun being there. I used to just go around in the shop, at times manage the shops, interact with customers. Cuttack in Odisha was a very small town. Likewise a tier 4 town today in India. So it was a tier 3 town there. And when you interact with those people, you have friends there, you had schooling there, you understand what consumers want, what are they looking for. And then I moved to Mumbai. I also saw those glamorous world. I saw the chain of retail there, Shopper Stop, which was there. And, something inspired me and said that why can't a common man have a good shopping place? Why can't he have an affordable product with a good ambience and with a fixed prices and a good environment? So, and that propelled me and that motivated me a lot. And then that's where I was running a printing press as a packaging unit there in Mumbai while I was doing education. And then I came back to Kolkata and then started this retail chain. And then I thought, there are so many youngsters or youth and young family who earn between, in India at that point of time, between 10,000 to 20,000 rupees, now 20,000 to 50,000 rupees. And then I say that these people don't have so much of money, but they have huge aspiration. They have, everything that they look forward to. They have similar television to watch. They have similar internet to watch. They have similar movies and the same role model, and they want to look like their role model. So that really inspired me, saying that okay, we should do something, and there's a gap, which we can do, and the large part of this population lives in the hinterland, the main part of India, which is the smaller town, the tier 2, tier 3, the villages, the rural as well urban. So a lot of these people who are not in metros or in tier 1s are living in these smaller towns, have those aspirations, have that need, because they need quality, they need good product, because they don't have too many clothes in their wardrobe, and they want to wear more number of times, they want to wash more number of times the same product. That it has to be, so it has to be good quality. That's how you get those people, and it has to be really damn cheap. They don't want to break their bank, so they want to have it at a most cheapest price, and they want to be the smartest shopper going around and shopping. So all of this combined together made me think that there is something on the back of my experience while I was a child in my father's shop, having a color cutter master, always stitching my pant out of a customer's pant, and that's how I grew up, and I saw what efficiency means, and what are those key ingredients which make a product and which makes a great efficient product. Because what my belief was, making a great product doesn't require a lot of skill and a lot of technology. It's more about the similar raw material which is taken a good care, and with a good know-how you can really craft a good product. And that's what my basic understanding made me work with the retailer vendors, work with the industry, and then grew something and made something like this. So I think this is important, and this is what I thought. It is just not creating happiness for people around in those towns, in those cities, making them fashionable, making them look alike their role model, but it'll also create a lot of impact on those society, those community, those people who live there, and the kind of employment that you generate, the kind of organized behavior mindset that you bring in. So all of this, I think, inspired me a lot bringing in this.
Lovely. I would love to get into that, but I think what's so interesting is how you harnessed your own personal experience growing up in Dad's tailor shop. So you were interacting with customers, you were interacting with the team there. So you learned firsthand what it takes to really understand your customer, their preferences, and how do you deliver time and again. How old were you when you started working in the shop? I'm curious.
I was not working in the shop, but after the school, that was a place where I could go out.
That's your extracurricular.
Okay. My dad used to go out of the town, and he said, "Okay, Lalit, now you guys do have to manage. Just go to the school and come back to the shop, or manage the shop, close the shop, handle the cash, handle the people." So at times, it was fun, and that point of time you were not doing because you were working. It was fun there. For me, it was like fun, meeting people, enjoying having an interaction, maybe eating some stuff in the school in the shop. Definitely those days, and when you experience with those are what I call internship, what we call today, and those are the internship when what you do in your own shop, and when you are given those responsibility, you actually come up, and you don't know where does it come up from, because at the age was like I was 14 years, I was 15 years when I used to go there and manage the shop, and until 18 I used to do that. So in those younger age you bloom, you really bring out a lot of energy, you bring out a lot of innovation, you bring out creativity, and your smile itself attract customers, and then you are able to. And then at that time I never thought that I'm learning, and but it is there which you grab and you inherit.
Of course.
And
I think that laid the foundation for you. And I think there's a difference between what you're describing and maybe internships today, because you had real responsibilities. Like, Dad's out of town, Lalit managed the shop, make sure the accounts balance. And I think that's such an invaluable experience. When you read biographies of many industrialists, you hear that at the age of 8, 10, 12, they're on their bicycles selling newspapers door to door. And that's so tough because, you get a lot of rejections. People shut the door. No, I don't want a new newspaper or whatever. But that teaches you at a young age to handle rejection. It's fine. Some people won't buy my product. I need to don that smile and knock on the next door. So I think that seems to have been an invaluable experience for you, and may have established that foundation for your success. And then when you moved to Mumbai, you saw this whole new world. So you moved to Mumbai for school, was it?
So that's another interesting story. So okay. I when I finished my 12th, normally you'd opt for either an engineering or and I wanted to become an engineer, and I had something in my mind. I appeared for IIT, I appeared for some other exam. I didn't clear up, and I thought I told my dad I want to go there, and he said there are a lot of colleges in Pune or Mumbai and then those part of the world. Let's go to Mumbai and then see what can we do and what can. And when I went to Mumbai, most of the colleges demanded good sum of money, and it was like investing around 8 to 10 lakh rupees. I said, when I was coming back, in Mumbai, I met one of my cousin and one of my relatives who was running a business, and he gave some small offer. If you come down here, there's something that we can do. And it clicked me. And then while coming back with the train, I told to my dad, how much you wanted to invest in me? He said around 8 lakhs. Can you give me that money? I want to go to Mumbai and do this business and not do engineering. and I took that money. I went to Mumbai. I took admission in the college and did graduation simultaneously doing this business. And I ran a packaging unit along with this. So and then the MBA program. So I think all of this helped me a lot. Taking that risk, taking that bet on what you believed in and what you liked, and going to a new city and try to do both the things.
So what gave you that? So at 18, basically, you enrolled in a small college, but you spent most of your time on this printing business with a relative. What gave you that courage to say, okay, I'm not going to go to a big fancy college. I'm going to sweat it out. How did that pay off down the road?
No, I think that was the best experience of my life. I really loved that moment. And then, even taking that decision, it is not so easy for a student to do it. Go away from your parents and then have both the life, have the college and the education, as well as your business and handling a partner. It is not going to be tough, but yeah, it was really beautiful. And it was so, I learned so many things. I learned the real patience, having the patience handling a partner, managing stuff, managing your priorities, managing where you should be. You can't say no to your friends, you can't say no to your teachers, and you can't say no to your partner and your clients. So there were so much of balancing that you have to do, and then still come out shining in your education, graduation, and then clear that off, and I also had that academic mindset which I wanted to still do and have friends, and it is a lot of learning at that age when you get to manage so many things. When I see it now, it was fun. It was definitely fun, but it was very difficult for me to manage at that point of time. But I think the courage always comes from your family. Courage always comes from the culture where you have been belonging to, whatever you have seen in your house or whatever you've seen in your surroundings. So I think a lot of those things you have to just be at the present, be at that moment, and go with your instinct, and that's what helped me.
I think that's wonderful. I mean, kids nowadays have to juggle so many obligations, so it's possible, right? Running a business, managing
you have to go for it, and that's it. And you have to just leap out and then jump. And when you jump, there are things to handle and the people to handle you.
Amazing. Great advice. As we discussed, I think it's so interesting that you're able to establish retail outlets, shops in virtually every corner of India, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. Would love to explore what you learned about India, different people, different cultures through this experience. People say that there are two Indias or there are multiple Indias. India's like Europe. It's a continent, not a country. To what extent is that true? What are some of the differences you've seen geographically? But is there also something common that ties us all together as Indians?
I think I've been really fortunate enough to see lot part of India and much more of India. Both because I've lived in multiple cities and states. I know multiple languages, and I definitely have to travel because of work. And then definitely my work also brings in a lot of understanding about consumer behavior, their culture, their understanding on, and what do they believe in, what do they like and what do they dislike. And see, definitely India being so diversified, every 100 kilometer people speak different language with a different dialect, and very, very different culture and different ways of eating, different product that they eat, different wearing that they have, differentiation in the kind of weddings, events and celebrations that they do. Seasonality is different. Even human structures are different. Even the way their bodies are and the way their complexions are, it is so different and so differentiated and so diversified, which is so lovely to understand, but it is also very complicated to deal with when you are in retail, because understanding this differentiation, understanding the different behavior, and then creating a forecast and creating a plan for yourself where what will sell where and how much and when is so difficult, and it is so different. So I think there's definitely a lot that India has. It is really rich in every culture, and people definitely believe in their culture, and there's a lot of belief that they have in their own culture, the way they live, the way they enjoy, the way they wear, the way they celebrate, and that belief makes it so difficult to crack out, and it's no standard, it's not standardized.
Do you have some stories to share? The reason I think this is so important is I think a lot of young people now need to do business internationally and understand cultures and peoples that may be very different from their own. Do you have certain guidelines on how you get out of your own skin and how you forge those genuine connections with people from different backgrounds and really have those deep and meaningful relationships that transcend business?
I think, see, nothing can help other than being there. Nothing can help other than mingling with them, understanding, being a part of some of their events, being a part of their local culture and local people, and being on the roads, being there on the streets, talking to them, being. So I think it's more about definitely researching on the ground. And it's just not researching on the laptop.
Experiential
research, which gives you a little inner belief and understanding that what's working, what's not working. And that also you can see a part of that culture. You may not see the in its entirety. So you need to keep, I mean, even the initial pieces may not give you everything. And then you need to keep diving into it, keep seeing, and also testing your beliefs, because whatever that you have understood, whatever that you've assessed, and whatever that you have experimented now, and that may work, that may not work, and you will suddenly find something very, very different. Like for example, we opened a store in Srinagar, and like people said, you can't open a store there. It was terrorism, right? A decade back, and it was full. And then I had a big fight with my board, and I convinced them to try and open it. And when we opened up, people said that don't keep anything on the Western wear. Don't keep denims. Don't keep tops for women. They are like, they wear burqas, and they are very, very orthodox, and they are very traditional. They, if you keep those, they will attack you. But still, I said, okay, let me just have some trial and some.
What I want to know, what was your reason? I mean, the whole board is like, no, we're not opening a store in Srinagar. What led you to fight with them and be like, no, we are doing this?
So when I visited Srinagar and then I went around, I also went around a college, and when I saw the people walking in burqas and scarves and very, very covered up, and the girls were walking, and then I interacted with few students, and then when I did a small interaction with some of the students in the nearby cafeteria, and there I just happened to ask them, and I understood. They didn't tell upfront, but I understood the feeling, that the aspiration with the girls that they had there. They wanted to wear. They said that we do wear at house, but we can't come out in the open. We do at times wear with our surrounding and close people, but we don't come out. So and I experimented it, and I said, let me do it. And you can't believe that was the best store selling Western wear for me.
So you went to Srinagar, you like hung out in colleges, in canteens, chatting with. So that's how you did your market research.
I mean, some part of it, because that was a difficult state and very, very difficult not too much information is out there. And it was a beautiful place to hang out. And then
it doubles as a vacation.
Yeah. So I mean, it gave me a great time. I took up a bike, and then I was on the bike. And
this is just 10 years ago. I mean, I think that's...
Yeah, almost 12 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost 12 years now. So I mean... No, I mean, definitely, unless and until you take up the local rickshaws, you be in that autos, and you be in that bus, or you be in that particular part of the community and the locality, and you spend some time, either you or your team, or you be part of your team. So people have to get into that to acquire those insights, and then that's how you build a model where you can, and that once again I said, you may not know in entirety. And with differentiated seasons, you will have different mindset and different things which you'll keep knowing. You have to be like your analytics has to be really good on whatever that you have done, your assessment, your understanding, your analytics, and then understanding back that what will work and what will not work. So I think a lot of those pieces has to be done while you are understanding the local consumer, local laws, local, even in India, every state has their own law, every municipality has their own law, everywhere there are different papers and different ways you have to transact. So you have to understand all of those. In those times, there was sales tax regime where every state had their different sales tax. There was octroi. There was every city entry would have a tax, and then there was an entry tax. There would be some labor laws. There would be differentiated mindsets, and there would be differentiated people that you have to interact with, landlords, those people whom you have to interact, local vendors, local team. How do they work during Roja, during Ramjan? They can't work and that's the peakest month that you have. How do you make them work? Everyone wants to have the Roja. They can't eat every day. They can't eat during the entire day, but still there's so many customers on your shop. How do you handle that? How do they handle it?
How did you? So
they manage it. I just became a part of them. Whatever they did, I celebrated along with them. They would have those in the evening, those eat together after the namaz, and we would be a part of them. So when they understand that you are a part of them, they cooperate with you. They understand this, and then ultimately, I think one thing that I understood common is everywhere there's law and order. Everywhere there are people with good heart and good mindset, lot of integrity, lot of ethics internally, good culture, and which is so important. And there could be perception which could be built around a particular state or a particular locality or a particular town or a particular kind of people which would be there from a distance. But when you go deep there, you find everything is so good, everything is so nice, people are so great, and there's so much of enthusiasm, so much of care that they take for each other, and so much of ethics with integrity that they have, which excites me a lot. Yeah.
Lovely. I really enjoyed this Srinagar story, so I'm going to ask you for one more. Can you give us an example in which you may have had a preconception about a particular area, as you did with, or as your board did with Kashmir, and going there, you saw it was very different. Do you have another example of that?
Another town called Ajmer. Ajmer in Rajasthan. And that also I opened almost 14 years or 15 years back. And when I went to the town to research, I really went out to everywhere, and I can't see a single girl wearing a denim or a top or a fashion product. They all saris and salwar suits and kurtas with dupattas. But still, once again, Lalit being Lalit and then me being me, I said, okay, let me experiment a few and let me just keep something. And I don't know, like girls came in from somewhere. It was like rats coming out from their bill, and I saw, and then I inquired. I mean, there's a Mayo school, and there are a lot of young schools where these kids want to wear, and then it was fashionism. The whole community I saw changing, the whole society I saw changing, that every girl, now some girls started wearing it. When they saw their neighbors' girls came in, and their neighbors, and that's what inspired me so much. Like, this is like changing the whole society, bringing in so much of happiness. And that was really inspiring for me. At times, because even availability was a problem. And people didn't have the confidence. So you drive that.
I see. So it was like, okay, nobody's wearing this, but that's because there's nobody providing them.
Yes.
And I'm going to provide them.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then not only that, when you see it, even the people who used to work for you, and when I speak to them, I went to their homes and I try to understand what is the change that happens in their life. Even the kind of discipline that they bring in, the kind of interaction they bring in, the kind of, they manage my store, the store, and the way they have to keep it. Now their homes are like this, because otherwise it would have been like scrambled. The home would not be clean. Now they want to keep their home. Their relatives are now in it, and their relatives are so happy. So it's just not an impact that you create with that particular individual. It's the whole community and that whole society gets impacted, is what I also learned.
No, I want to understand this deeper. How do fashion trends impact the broader home, community, and society? I didn't quite catch that.
I mean, fashion trend, and this one I said about the employees, but the point that I was saying, fashion trend actually brings in a little more liberalization. It brings in a little more liberty to express your feeling and express your mindset. So I think that piece I saw and saw real change coming in.
Amazing.
And that smartness makes the girl and the women more confident.
Okay. And of course, that's going to send ripples out throughout society. Yeah. That's amazing. How do you see Indian society changing now? What are the trends you're observing, given that, with presence in virtually every state, what's your finger on the pulse? What are some things we can anticipate over the next decade or two?
I think, people, India is leapfrogging. So in every area, they were very back, and then they're suddenly seeing a lot, and they are adopting. And with the government, with better law and order, with better infrastructure, with better technology that we have, which the world doesn't have, I think people want to jump out. People want to consume more or look more or become a little more daring and a little more courageous in terms of even taking some action or some decisions on their own life, like entrepreneurship. So I see a lot going out in people want to become entrepreneurs. People are a lot of people. Indian culture is more self-employed, and a lot of people are there who are self-employed. And entrepreneurship culture was already there. With this new technology and with these new pieces coming in, bringing in so much of innovation, and activating their mindset with so much of information down there. So all of this segment, I am seeing a lot happening. So I think. It is supposed to definitely work out, and India is definitely bound to grow. Even the smallest districts and the towns, the government is very, very active. Most of the state governments we are seeing organizing a lot of fairs, a lot of conventions, bringing in a lot of entrepreneurs, developing entrepreneurs, creating grounds for making businesses smooth, or setting up the businesses which are smooth, even helping the entrepreneur community. And definitely those will create a lot of jobs, and those will create a lot of prosperity. Definitely more urbanization is supposed to happen, because still there's a lot of rural population which is there, and more urbanization is going to happen, but not only metro which is going to get occupied, but it is a lot of towns and a lot of cities, because there are more than 70 cities which should get developed, and a lot of urbanization is going to happen around those places. So I think urbanization means more consumption, urbanization means more fashion, urbanization means more technology, more education, and then literacy is definitely something which has become very, very core to everywhere. And there's no one who do not want to get literate and do not want to get educated and do not go to colleges and don't want to work with some good companies and good stores. So I think aspiration is definitely driving them up. They are workaholic. They are very intelligent. They definitely have some constraints. They definitely have some constraints over resources, and they have constraints over availabilities at time. That definitely is the government today is helping. And I mean, the entrepreneurs here in India who are going out of their towns and who are going out of the cities, and now I think it's no more only V-Mart being in those towns. It is now many chains which has come in. E-commerce has gone there. So every part of every kind of technology is now moving in. Every part of new industries are now being anticipated and being seen. New ways of doing businesses, new services lines are being started. So I think all of this is definitely going to bring in more prosperity in India. And I am seeing a much more developed economy.
That's there. But I think what V-Mart has done differently is that there's the most famous ice hockey player of all time, Wayne Gretzky, has a beautiful quote. He said, how are you so much better than everyone else? And he said, the puck is there. I don't skate to where the puck is. I skate to where the puck will be. So he anticipates it's moving in this direction. So I'm going to skate there. And I think, now people are kind of seeing that. But I think what's really amazing is 25 years ago, you're kind of having that finger on the pulse and really understanding through your interactions with people across the country what that aspiration was and how V-Mart could play a role with that, role in that, and continue to do so. Because you mentioned entrepreneurship, want to talk about what specific advice would you give a 20, 25-year-old today who wants to build the next V-Mart, who wants to participate in India's development? What skills, what sensibilities must they develop?
I think knowing what you are, knowing what excites you, knowing where is the gap in the market, and how do you intermingle or how do you collaborate between the gap and your own skill and your own connections or own resources. So I think very, very important. Definitely sharpening your skills, sharpening your understanding, because your understanding is still theoretical. Once you go out into the market, once you go out into the work, once you go out into some business, you definitely will get disappointed with the kind of stuff that you would interact with. Because life for you has been very beautiful till now. People have taken care of you. Your parents have been beautiful. The moment you ask for things, you get those, and you are not being disheartened. You got girlfriends. You got great life. So it is not going to be those smooth rides for you when you go out to work, whether you are working for yourself or working for someone else. It definitely, you have to manage your expectation. You have to manage your thought process. You have to become a little more patientful. You can't be impatient. So I think largely, focus, perseverance, and the grit. So I think that's going to really work for you. There may be areas which you get into which you may not succeed, and there may be times when you believe and you do a lot of hard work, you put your heart and soul, and it happened with me, it happened with everyone, and there would be areas where you would not succeed to the way you want to, but still if you pursue it, if you keep rejuvenating it, if you keep redrafting it, I think you will get to it. And you can't have a disheartened future saying that, okay, no, I because I have failed this time, I'm not eligible. That never happens. And whenever I keep mentioning it, whenever there's a child who want to walk, and if his father keeps holding his or her hand, and so she or he can't never walk. So once they allow her to walk alone, she may fall or he may fall, and there will be bruises on your knees, but still you'll learn, and that's the way you grow up in life. That's how you start walking and running. So I think every step that you take as an entrepreneur, if you're taking it yourself, if you are self-confident, and if you have an idea, if you have a vision, I think there is a lot of opportunity right now out there in the market. There's many things that are happening. If you are able to collaborate, if you understand, if you have people whom you can rely on, or if there are people whom you can develop and then create a positive environment within them, I think there's a lot of opportunity. As an entrepreneur, definitely there are a lot of sacrifices that you have to do. There are a lot of sacrifice of your happiness and your joy at times that you have to do, because you have to really work hard, spend more time on the work. It is not those 8 to 5 kind of job where you just go out and spend time and come back. So definitely it will take more out of you, but largely I believe you need to have a persistent approach towards it. You need to really find out an idea where there is definitely something for you to build, but more important, something for the other party to build, someone whom you are working for, or some customer whom you are working for. So if the customer can create a value, and if you are able to create value for everyone around you, you are going to be successful. It's just not about you making value. It's about everyone else making value. So any business, any idea which can do this, which can create more value for people, I think that those ideas are going to be definitely successful.
Strive to create value. So I think number one, you said focus, perseverance, and grit, and then just strive to create value for everyone around you, all stakeholders. Yeah. Lovely. I still recall, I think years ago, you told me the importance of having a coach, whether it's a spiritual coach or a business coach, and the importance of mindset. Would love for you to share more about that, and how has thinking about spirituality, mental performance, mental health, improved your ability to do business and expand V-Mart?
No, I think, see, if you believe that you are the driver of the bus and the entire passengers sitting in the bus are all dependent on you, and your mind, your awareness is very important for the passengers of the bus, then you act in a much more responsible way. And being aware of what are your responsibilities and what you are and what are the problems that are going to come in on the way, it makes you much more spiritual. And I think spiritualism is nothing than aligning with yourself and aligning with your inner self and getting in that present moment and being in that present moment fully aware and fully in it. So I think mental health, definitely for someone who is driving the seat, on the driver's seat, is very, very important. And for the mental health, there are a lot of things that those are important, right? From what you eat to how do you behave physically, and what are your physical activities, and how are you mentally fit, how do you educate yourself, how do you keep learning, and then how do you definitely integrate all of this and apply it in your relationship, in your businesses, in your team, with your company, in your modeling. So I think definitely learning is the most important thing, I think, which I still believe, and I'm still a part of a course at Harvard, doing an OPM program. I still believe there's a lot that I have to learn. There's a lot that you can do academic learning, and there's a lot that you can do as an individual personal learning, which is more about yourself and the religion and the culture, or even the spiritualism that you have, or where are you coming from, what are you, what do you believe in. So I think I had a great time. I am having a great time. I definitely had some gurus and some coaches on the way who have helped me to get onto the right path and the right journey. I definitely believe that being positive is the most important thing, and everything is positive around the world. That the moment you start feeling or having a different lens, that's where negativity comes in, and that's where negativity start happening. So if you just keep believing that whatever happens for good, and whatever that you are doing is right, and keep seeing that you are learning enough so that you are able to do right, and then let's just keep doing it and just be there. So I think doing exercise, eating right, reading right.
Do you mind sharing, how do you fit all of these into your daily schedule? I think that I remember you're sharing that once. If you can remind us, how do you ensure that you get to all of these elements each day with your busy schedule?
I think the first thing that you have to do is, what I do is get up early, start the day with a smile in front of your mirror and say that, I'm grateful to you and you are the best. So that's the most important thing that you start your day with. And then definitely, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I go through a spiritual video for the first 20 minutes in the day, and then go out to exercise, spend almost 2 hours in exercise.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so every day. And then come back home around 8 and eat some good healthy breakfast, and then go to my work by 10, and then work for almost 9 to 9.5 hours. And then at work, you have to be just at the present moment, on the same moment. Be there. Wherever in the work, if you have some good time, within work also, how do you take out time for yourself? How do you be yourself? At times, you have so many meetings, so many schedules, so many tours, so many networks. But how do you also bring out some time for yourself? Some me time, saying that how do you scribble, how do you really give time and speak to yourself. So some of those activities are also very important. And then definitely having those good catch up time with your peers and your people who work for your team, and how do you really give them those kind of time, a one-on-one time, having those kind of relationship, and then even having those group meetings and group reviews, which should also be a little humorous and a little more lighter. How do you make those? So I mean, some of those, and then even if you are traveling, how do you really travel, enjoying the nature, enjoying the culture, enjoying wherever you are? And
if you're traveling for work, you also
travel because you have to, and you don't travel all the places where you got airports or good 5-star hotels. You get all sort of things, and you have to travel with all sort of facilities. But how do you enjoy all of those? How do you really believe that this is great, everything is good? If you start complaining and if you start seeing things which are negative and which you are not getting it, you definitely tend to get into those negative zone, and you tend to feel that it is painful. You tend to feel that it is difficult. When you start seeing it positively, it's always good. So it's all about that. And then you come back home, and how do you interact with your kids? How do you give time to your family? And then definitely have some time for yourself, and then meditate and sleep. So
amazing.
So some of those, I think that's a part of daily routine. But yeah, definitely it also has to have some fun. It also has to have some friends. It also has to have some other outings which you should do.
Amazing. You said you need to connect with yourself even during the work day. Yeah. You mentioned scribbling. What do you do to recenter when you're going from meeting to meeting to meetings? So much craziness. How do you maintain that presence, that focus?
I think it's just between the meetings, having those 2 minutes good moment, and maybe just saying to yourself, or maybe just doing a deep breathing and just closing your eyes for 60 seconds helps you a lot to rejuvenate, helps to a lot to reconnect yourself with things, and you don't feel tired. You really don't feel tired at that.
Amazing. So we like to do a rapid fire round. Just quick responses. What's one value you hold dear?
I think for me, prudence is one value.
Interesting. Prudence in what sense?
Prudence in saying, in the business pieces, I'm saying that, being prudent to things, because in today's environment, even whatever we are seeing, the way environment is getting destroyed and things, how do you spend less? How do you use less? How do you become a little more conservative and conscious on what do you consume? And that's how it's not being prudent is not being saying cheap, but how do you really work with less minimalistic approach, a minimalistic thought process.
Got it. Being more conscious.
Being more conscious.
Got it. Yeah. Excellence is blank.
Doing the stuff on time, doing it with almost 110% of what is required, and just seeing that it is not affecting somebody else. And at times, maybe even violating your procedures and your SOPs for the benefit of your customer.
Lovely. What is your favorite fashion trend of all time? Anything you would share?
And for me, favorite fashion trend, wearing slim fit shirts.
Amazing. You look amazing in them. Okay. And finally, one thing we ask every guest, what's one change you wish to see in the world or in India specifically a decade from now, let's say 2035?
One change which I can see is in education, saying that learning to remember is no more going to be there. Learning to use your understanding and learning to create trigger points, the way you can nudge a system, the way you can ask questions to a system is going to be very, very important. And so I think building those skills and building those understanding on how well can you think and create thought process, and then have those questions which you want to dwell into. Having those questions itself is very important.
Asking the right question. This connects to what you said before about being a lifelong learner, not just in school. So many insights as always, Lalit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rahul. And it was really Lovely to get back to my history, my journey, getting back to my old days and old thoughts and old beliefs. And thank you for taking me around there.
Lovely.
And all
We
the
enjoyed
best.
it.
All the best to you. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you.